Okay, we'll call the meeting to order for the county board. Everybody's here today. They must look at the agenda and see it's going to be quite a short meeting. We'll start then with the moment of silent meditation and the pledge of allegiance. Please remember our first responders and think about Monday a little bit too. It's Memorial Day, not just a vacation day for everybody. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment. Is there anyone in the back? We've got one newspaper reporter, and that's it. It's pretty quiet back there today. Okay, we will move on then to motion to deviate. Motion by Randy Young, seconded by Kimberly Leffel. Any questions or comments? If none, by acclamation, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Chairman's report. I will, do you want to come up just for a little bit? Has anybody got any questions on item? It is item number 10, the Broadband Planning Committee. If there is any questions on it, I would have Matt come up, but that item is I'm taking it off the agenda for today. They had come to the executive committee, and we need to basically set up a planning committee to meet the government qualifications so we can apply for loans and funding that'll be available for it. And they had asked that we get on it, but nobody could provide me with a list of names of who they'd like to see on there yet, so they're still working on that. That's kind of a combination between Jimmy, Matt, and Peter Tillman. So we'll take that up next month. If there's no questions on it, then we'll just leave Matt seated back there, I guess. Okay, he looks happy with that. Jimmy did send out an email to everybody, and the only thing I was going to kind of touch on is the requests came in now before budget for, I guess the easiest way to sum it up is additional personnel, increasing somebody's time, or adding another person altogether, another position full-time. And we had 11 requests, and that would total about $400,000 to the budget. But the way things have been, that money probably won't be there. We kind of left it hanging in the air and let everybody know that had their request in that we'll see how the budget goes. And if there is money left in the end, then we'll go through and we'll prioritize everybody's request and see which ones that we think are needed the most and go from there then, if we got money left to work with or not. I would say the top two requests we have, though, to work with that I would like to see happen would be number one. She's got a lot more training now, Jennifer does, in the Veteran Service Office, to where she can perform a lot of the duties when Paul is out doing more in-person meetings and things. If somebody comes into the office, she can take care of much more and handle it and get a lot of the applications and things started for him. And that request is just to move her to full-time. And I think the second most important one that we have on the list came from George. He's requesting another deputy, and it would be mainly oriented towards courthouse and courtroom security. But that'll come up. I don't know if you want to make a little comment on it now, George, or not, or?
It was just something that was brought up by the judges. I gave the executive committee a letter signed by both judges. Right now we have one security officer for the courthouse. And we're way behind the times. If you go to other counties, just about 99% of them, you got to go through a metal detector and everything else. It doesn't until they decide what they're going to do with the courthouse. this way we would have officer assigned to each branch and also have someone that is available if when there's someone on vacation or other things that come up and that officer isn't here, we're pulling officers off the roadway or pulling our admin staff in here to work for us. So it would, I think it would help big time with the court people and with all the staff there.
Okay, thanks, George. Other than that, there's really no other highlights going on. It's been pretty quiet. With that, then we'll move on to item number 6, the consent agenda. If anyone would like any of these removed, let me know. The first item is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Okay, acceptance of the April and May committee minutes. None. Special orders of appointments for Public Health Department, Denise Gillane, and her term would expire 4/25, and Rudolph Reiter, his term would expire 4/26. Anybody object to that? None. We also have annual reports from the Shawano-Menominee County Health Department. Resolution number 23-23 for a Navarino zone change, Peters Living Trust. And the rest of these are all through PD&Z and approved by them. Resolution number 24-23, zone change for Kaufman. Okay. Resolution 25-23, zone change for Block. No objections. 26-23, grant zone change for Fossil. None. 27-23, Town of Heartland zone change. Okay, since there are no objections then, I guess a motion to approve as presented would be in order. Motion by Bill Spatala, seconded by Devin Crejan. Since there's no questions or comments, if you are in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. 27 yes, 0 no, and the resolution is definitely passed. Seeing as how there are no items that were taken off, we'll move right on then to number 7, readings of petitions, memorials. Kara?
We have none for today.
Okay. Item number 8, resolution number 28-23 is a MOU for New North Broadband. Do you want to speak on that, Jimmy, or you want to turn that over to Matt? He's pretty much the one who's leading that.
Go ahead, Matt. He's usually in a suit, so.
Can you come up front so Kara gets it on the... This is all part of the planning committee and everything that being appointed.
Yeah, this just goes back to us working with New North, the regional planning out of our northeast region. They applied for a planning grant for all the future funding coming for broadband in the state of Wisconsin. And we received roughly 20,000 as our cut. 10,000 will come to us. The rest will go to New North for their research, planning, maps, all that criteria that we're gonna need in the future. We don't know how much funds we're gonna get or anything. This is just the start, the process, and we figured this was the best route to go as a consortium, kind of, rather than individual counties. So I think there's 15 other counties as part of this package. Is there any questions on it? And this is where the committee comes from. So we're just trying to get a committee made up across the county, and it comes as part of a 5-year plan that the state needs.
And that's why I say the reason, it's a typical government thing, it's hurry up and wait, to where they want to get going, but it's a big push, but they don't really know just how much money is going to be allocated and spent. So we'll give them a little more time to get it all put together.
Broadband, equity, access, and deployment, so.
Dennis Knack.
Is it looking at getting in the northwest part of the county?
This is for our complete county, and it's a roadmap basically on what our county wants to see in all areas that are that have no access, under the 100 meg or 20 meg thresholds, and so far, I mean, it could be the east end, west end, north, south, pretty much all of them. Any area that does not have the appropriate internet.
Okay. Didn't Bernowood go already with somebody, Denny?
What's that?
Didn't Bernowood, the town of Bernowood, did you guys do an agreement with Serenity already?
We thought so a couple of years ago already.
Okay. But nothing happened yet in the meantime? Okay, any further? All right.
Add on that part, some of these previous agreements were like 25 meg, 3 meg, and so forth. So we're looking more or less, we want to get up to 100 meg down, 20 meg up, just higher numbers the state's coming out with. So it might overlap some previous ones, and then some of the funding might go around where previous funding was. Not hit that exact area, but fill in all the gaps. So we really will know a lot more in probably the next, I would say, 3 months.
Okay. Any other questions for Matt? All right. Seeing none, then if you are in favor. What's
I
that?
need to read it.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Kara.
Resolution 2823 to approve entering into a memorandum of understanding with New North. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 24th day of May 2023. The board does authorize and approve of entering into the attached memorandum with by reference is made at a part hereof with New North to provide support for the Public Service Commission, PSC, Broadband Equity Access and Deployment, which is BEAD, Local Planning Grant Project. Be it further resolved that the Shawano County Board of Supervisors does authorize and approve the Technology Services Department to accept and expend $10,000 in BEAD Local Planning Grant funding to help compensate for county staff time needed to conduct responsibilities related to implementation of affordable, reliable, high-speed broadband service. Be it further resolved that the Shawano County Clerk be directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the Shawano County Finance Director and the Shawano County Technology Services Director for adjustment to budgets as necessary. This has been submitted by the Executive Committee.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Grant Stazak, seconded by Steve Geetz. Okay, do we have any questions or comments on that besides Matt's presentation? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of approving the local planning grant, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. 27 yes, 0 no. So the resolution is passed. Item number 9, ordinance number 3-23. Kara?
To repeal ordinance number 3-13 and amend ordinance number 1-06, providing for qualifications, appointments, and hiring of various law enforcement personnel. Now therefore be it ordained by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 24th day of May 2023 does ordain as follows. Ordinance 3-13 is hereby repealed. Section 4, General Provisions, Paragraph A of Ordinance Number 1-06 to be amended to read, the County Board of Supervisors, after review by the Public Safety and Executive Committees, shall fix salaries, paid time off, fringe benefits, clothing allowances, and other matters relating to the employment of the positions herein. Number 3, Section 5, Other Provisions, Paragraph B of Ordinance 1-06 to be amended to read, all ordinances, resolutions, or parts of ordinances or resolutions conflicting with this ordinance are repealed. This has been submitted by the Public Safety and Executive Committees.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Tess, seconded by Mike Wiesner. Tess, do you want to comment on it, or do you want to have George explain it to us? Okay, he's on his way out.
I'll come up here because I'm sure everybody is confused when they look at that and try to understand it.
It's quite a mess, yeah.
It's, Lorinda actually did good on this with what she had to work with. This ordinance has been amended so many times throughout the years. So the bottom line is, what it does, it repeals an old ordinance and it amends, since the hiring ordinance also mentions this old ordinance, we had to amend the hiring ordinance along the way. But the ordinance that it repeals, we have an old ordinance, and this started years ago. This ordinance initially came into effect when you had to live in Shawano County to work in Shawano County, and that's not the case anymore. But we still left in there, you had to live in Shawano County to have a squad outside. You couldn't have a squad outside the county and live. We're one of the few counties that doesn't allow take-home squads if somebody lives outside of our county. We have numerous officers I have a few that live in Pulaski, Marion, just out into Marathon County. And with the housing, it's hard to get them in. And in order to retain officers nowadays and to attract officers, I think we need to allow take-home squads. I'm sure some of you have seen, we have people that work at Brown County Sheriff's Office that live in Shawano County with their Brown County squad. We have Oconto County squads in our county. We have a ton of Menominee County, Stockbridge squads all over the county, too, from Stockbridge. And so that's the main thing. And besides retaining and attracting new officers, because that's big to a department, especially, we don't pay as much as some of the surrounding counties. So we want to be able to give them other benefits to attract them and keep them here from moving to another county. The other thing that it would help, if I have somebody that's starting at 6 p.m. or something, when they check on and they live in the Pulaski or just outside of Shawano County into Marathon County, and we have a warrant to pick up, they can go pick that person up. Right now, and plus where they live is where they work. So the guys that live on the west side, that's where they work, the same as the east. So right now, I have a couple officers that live in Pulaski. They drive all the way into Shawano, pick up their squad, and then drive all the way out into the area. And when it comes close to quitting time, they're driving all the way back into Shawano to drop off their squads. So it keeps them in their area, it keeps them on the road, and it keeps them out of the office. I'd rather have them on the road working. And since we talked court security, court security officer does not have a take-home squad. His duties are in the courts. So we don't have a squad that he takes home. If we do get another courthouse security, it won't affect vehicles either, because we won't have to buy a new vehicle for that officer. That would just be a wage and fringe thing. So that's pretty much what we're trying to say in this ordinance here.
Okay, is there any questions for George? Tess?
Now I'll talk. I hope that all of us is a unanimous vote for this to happen. It only makes sense, and it's long overdue, so please vote yes.
And I guess too, I just want to add that with regards to that repeal of 3-13, the only thing remaining within that ordinance itself was regarding the county-owned vehicles, that they're not to be used for transportation outside of Shawano. So that was the only section that remained within that ordinance. So again, made sense at this time to repeal that because we're going to again cover that within that 1.1-06 now.
Okay. Anyone have any other questions? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of ordinance number 3-23, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. 27 yes with 0 no. So we definitely met the 3/4 membership. Item number 10, appointment of members to the broadband committee. We talked about that item will be held back until next month till we get a little better list put together of who will all be on it. Item number 11, report by Executive Committee on General Accounts. Kara?
General accounts to be paid is $1,758,718.95.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kathy, seconded by Dennis Knack. Any questions or comments? If not, if you are in favor of paying the bills, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. Oh, wait, you wanted to speak, Ken?
I just had one question. Isn't that a state program? I guess this is the first time I have ever seen a lottery tax credit paid through the county.
Yeah, I think it's just a pass-through. So we're the ones who remit the money to the individual districts or townships. So it's just a pass-through for the county.
But this is a state program, correct?
I believe so, yes. And we're just the ones we get the funding in, and then we have to distribute the funding to the municipalities or the school districts.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, then if you are in favor, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. 25 yes, with Dick Olson's abstaining and Kevin are abstaining. So the resolution is passed. Item number 12, board member comments. Before we go to that, I'd like to skip back real quick to the chairman's report. There's one more item I just thought of that I'd like to explain. The account that was mentioned last month for purchasing land, and that it had grew up to almost around $1 million, I believe Carrie had found. She had thought there was a problem before, and it had some of Kip's name on it. And she waited until the auditors went through, and the auditors kind of confirmed what she was suspicious of, is in the past, there have been in the past, there have been a lot of projects, and when the projects got done, the last financial transaction to take the money out of that one account and put it over here never got done. So that account kept growing, and there's no extra $1 million sitting there, but I'll let Carrie explain. She knows the actual amounts that are there yet.
Sure. So, yeah, last meeting we had talked about how there was about $1 million set aside of sales tax for future KIP projects. So as a result of the audit, and like Tom alluded to, I knew that there was a transfer that had to be completed, and the auditors did confirm that. So essentially, some of the KIP projects that needed funding, they didn't get their funding or all of it up front and completely completed. So once a KIP project is done, funding is supposed to move back to its original source. And all of those transactions did not take place. So back at the end of 2016, everything was tied out and everything was completed and audited and correct. But then starting in 2017, not all of these transfers were made. So as a result of the end of 2022, we did make a transfer to fix that and to get all caught up. So beginning in 2023, we're where we're supposed to be.
Okay, any questions on that? I would say it would be, excuse me, unless you think I'm wrong, I would say the amount that's left, you said is roughly 2.25?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, between $200,000 and $300,000. I can get the exact figure, but
Then we should have a recommendation between KIP and public property. Then if we reestablish that fund, so there is a fund there for purchase that can be used, say if something does happen over here on the west side of the courthouse, that fund is there that we could draw from. And in the next month or so, we'll have to iron that out then between them two committees and get that taken care of. Jerry?
This brings back memories of years gone by. This is nothing more than a land acquisition fund that was there, and now we're going to put money back into it, it seems. But yeah, it
It apparently got morphed into something else over time, and
Yep.
that happens
Yep.
with things around here, I see that.
Yeah, because I know Arlen was chairman of the finance committee, Sandy was on that, I was on that. And every year when it was budget time, we did have that fund.
And I do see that in the old financial system, so we were able to track that back. So at the end of 2019, we do see close to $300,000 in that fund. So we can use the rest of this $1 million to reestablish and have that fund put in place.
Okay, Carrie, you're right on the ball then.
Because I know we bought the house over at the park, that the DNR, the park ranger uses, and we got grant money back for that, so that replenished the fund. We used the money for when we bought the quarry, they used money out of that until we got grant money to cover, so it always went back in.
Oh, sure, and that was probably before 2019 or
Yeah, it was
right around that time?
2016.
Sure,
So,
okay, yeah,
okay.
so we can see a balance at the end of 2019. So we'll use whatever's left of that $1 million, or we'll see what recommendation comes forward, but to reestablish that land acquisition fund then.
Joe Miller,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll report a major fish kill on the north branch of the Embarrass River, townships of Almond, Bartlemy, down to Seneca. Major fish kill, north of Old D, up in north of Bowler, all the way down through Bowler, down all the way down through skirting the south end of Stockbridge and all the way down to Tillota Pond. Major fish kill. Probably you know what the source is. So with that in mind, I know spread manure has always been a priority in Shawano County, and I don't just mean out in the fields, so, we get a little bit tired of this out there in the woods out there, and doesn't seem to matter too terribly much, being agriculture in this county, but yeah, it's getting to the point where, yeah, some people need to stand up and pay attention, because it's our environment that we all share and enjoy and love. I can't imagine all them trout that the DNR planted in Tillota Pond laying there dead by that dam there. So, yeah, all the way up, big browns, probably 16, 17-inch brown trout. All the species through there, so major fish kill. And we all know where it's coming from, so thank you very much.
okay. Any other board member comments? Seeing none then, we will move on. Item number 13, claim report of County Board Supervisors mileage per diem. Kara?
For today, we had 27 present and 0 absent, for a total of $2,529.36.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Bill Spatala, seconded by Sandy Stanky. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, then if you are in favor of getting paid today, you would vote yes. If not, you would vote no. Acclamation, I bet. Yep, look at that, 27 yes, 0 no. Next meeting date and time, there is a little boo-boo on the agenda. It should be the 28th, not the 24th. So everybody make sure that you note that it's the standard fourth Wednesday of the month. With that, we are down to motion to adjourn. Motion by Bill, seconded by Kimberly. Is there any discussion? By acclamation, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Half hour.